proud moment.
Yeah, when you drink piss, you want it to be on purpose.
Better than on accident.
Neither one of them are good.
Yeah, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Stokastic.com NBA strategy show presented by Prize Picks. I'm Dave Loughran at Lafayette_D on the Twitters, joined by Josh Engleman at Josh. What shirt is that?
It's an NWO sweatshirt.
That's what I thought. Okay. That's what I thought. Joined by Josh Engleman. We got two games today. Miami Heat, New York Knicks, Lakers, Golden State Warriors. We're going to break all that down. Take a seat, get comfortable. Going to be a fun ride as always. What better way to start your week off with a little strategy show action on a Monday morning? I'll give you a hint. You can't find an answer for that because there isn't one.
No.
But we're very happy to have you guys with us. Hit that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below. All that stuff goes a long way. Even if you're listening in podcast form, I know I always assumed like nobody did, but I always get DMs and comments. Oh, I listen in podcast. Where is it today? Or something like that. Yeah. One guy was listening on the Stitcher app. And
I didn't know people still use that.
I told Nathan and Jake, those guys, handle a lot of that stuff. And they're like, because he was like, it wasn't uploaded today. And I tell him, and they're like, do we still upload to Stitcher? I say, I don't know. And they look at like, well, yeah, apparently we do. So you know how that works, where you just upload it to everything automatically.
Yeah, but it's just like a service.
Might be the only Stitcher listener we have.
I stopped using Stitcher a very long time ago. Yeah, I appreciate you listening though on Stitcher or any other medium that you could find.
Yeah, if you're all the same out, if you're still out there, appreciate the dedication. But leave a rating and a review if you're on podcast form or whatever. All that stuff helps us a lot. Tell your friends, and let's dig into it. First off, before we get to any of this stuff for Monday, we got to recap Sunday for a second. Sure. I mentioned to you before the show started, like I'm beginning to wonder if James Harden. I'm beginning to wonder, man, at this point, if James Harden had. Remember Nigel Gruff from The Replacements, the field goal kicker? That guy's smoking on the field.
I'm wiry.
Right? Yeah, I'm wiry. Yeah. I'm bloody Welsh. Well, I'm beginning to wonder if something's going on with Hart, because that game 2 and game 3 compared to games 1 and game 2. I'm being facetious, of course, but it wasn't just like this. It wasn't just that he made or didn't make shots. It's like channeling Houston James Harden in game 1 and game 4. Just absolutely aggressive, not passing up on any shots. And then games 2 and 3, you go, this guy shouldn't even be on the court. I don't know what to make of it, but he was outstanding again last night. Here
are the game EPMs for James Harden in games. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yep.
Game 1, plus 10.8. Game 2, minus 4.3. Game 3, minus 3.8. Game 4, plus 17.
Plus 17 yesterday? What?
Yeah. Just he went from giant negative that's hurting the team in 2 games to overwhelming positive, and you probably win just because you have them type performances.
That's how it was. I'm telling you, this team goes as James Harden goes. Joel Embiid, I was thinking about this last night. I thought to myself, because we don't plan this show in the sense that you would plan like when I was on Sirius or radio. You just can't plan this show like that. It would suck. But I was thinking about this last night. I'm going to bring this up to Josh. Remember that guy that said yesterday, I forget who it was. He's like, the Sixers would be better off without Joel Embiid. And obviously that's...
Yeah, it was Sean Dre.
Okay.
You should forget who he is.
Obviously a laughable comment. However, I was thinking, and I think I'm right about this. The Sixers are better in postseason form, like against a team like the Celtics. They are better when the offense is not running through Joel Embiid.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I'm saying there's a huge difference there, but he needs to be on the floor. They took Paul Reed off the floor early yesterday because he was a negative. I'm a big fan.
Wasn't it? Yeah,
I'm a big fan, but not in this spot.
No.
When the offense runs through Joel Embiid, especially against a team like Boston, you're not winning. You're just not. No. You're not going to win in 7 games when a team runs through Joel Embiid. The Boston Celtics were just sending everybody at him, blocking his shots at the basket. Al Horford, excellent rim protection last game. Excellent rim protection against Joel Embiid. No?
No, I was in awe of Horford's performance. I mean, he blocked him on like a jump shot at the top of the key too. Like
he blocked him on like 4 straight possessions or something.
He was erasing Embiid over and over again. I mean, Embiid ran out of gas in a big way in that game.
You see Tucker getting his ear?
Yeah.
Oh, that was awesome.
Yeah. I needed more Embiid too, which was kind of a bummer, but
he didn't have, but he had a good game. That's the thing. Embiid still played well enough for them to win. You just needed Harden. And let me credit Joel Embiid with this too. That pass to James Harden has been a massive wart on Embiid's resume for years now, being able to pass out of double teams clean enough to get the open shot when they bring a second guy and leave someone open. In this case, they just so happened to leave Harden open on the baseline for that game-winning 3.
Yeah.
Last year or 2 years ago, Joel Embiid doesn't see that pass, and if he does see it, he sails it 5 feet over Harden's head. So credit that. That's the only way you're winning these games, though, is if Harden is aggressive and if Joel Embiid can find those passes out of the doubles. All right, I'm done. I just thought it was a really interesting dynamic the way that game worked.
Oh, it was a fascinating game. Like truly fascinating. I mean, I was tweeting out, right out of the gate, Jaylen Brown had like 12 points, and I messaged Adam, and I was just like, well, if you don't have Jaylen Brown, you lose anyway. And turns out that wasn't even close to the case. I mean, it's amazing how the swings happen, but I tweeted out a graphic at the end of the third quarter that had Jason Tatum as like with barely any chance to be optimal. And then all of a sudden it was just like, oh, Jason Tatum has had a very, very different game now and is like borderline essential to essential. And like, you don't think about it where you're taking a beating, midway through the first game and you're like, well, I guess this lineup is already dead. Things can flip really, really quickly because Jaylen Brown was looking close to optimal through the first quarter and didn't even sniff an optimal lineup by the end of the day in an overtime game, no less.
Amazing. And usually with baseball and basketball, I don't do a lot of like DFS hockey or whatever, but those are the sports where you could be nowhere near sniffing a cash line or a tournament and you end up blinking and now you're top 10 or blinking and you're you're not even cashing, right?
Right.
With basketball, there is that feeling that's like, man, there's just no chance. When Jason Tatum scores, what was it? I think he was shot 1 for an 8 in the first half, 1 for 9. I think he had 2 points in the first half and then 15 or something in the third quarter alone.
I had him with a 7% chance to be optimal at the end of the third quarter. And
what
he
did
went
finish with? Well,
bonkers.
He had like 400 rebounds.
What did he finish with? Fantasy points wise?
Yeah.
66.5.
He had, what did he have? 18
at that point in time, he had 44.5.
Didn't he have 18 rebounds or so? He had something insane.
He had 24 points, 18 boards, 6 assists, and 5 stocks.
Yeah.
Horford, by the way, had 7 stocks.
Go look at that game too. It's funny because the Sixers had a lot more steals, but I think only 3 blocks. Yeah. Boston was blocking shots left and right. Steven, you're right. Steven said, and I know Steven's a Boston fan. I know this for a fact. But and yes, I've seen that Missoula's getting hammered for not calling that timeout. I get that, but also like if you're the Boston Celtics, you still have to get a shot off.
Yeah, he doesn't ever call timeouts.
Yeah, it goes to what's that?
Missoula never calls timeouts.
No. He said Jaylen Brown had no business leaving Harden open to double Embiid with Horford playing as he did. Yeah, I kind of agree with that. I mean, Horford was one-on-one. Horford was dominating Joel late in that game, dominating him.
And Embiid was not exactly running with a full battery at that point either.
Gassed.
Yeah,
he was gassed. He was done.
Look, and like I don't say that to like. That's not like a blame statement. He played 46 minutes in that game.
He played almost the whole game.
Hurt, carrying around more weight than anybody else, and not in like a bad way or anything. Like he's out of gas. Yeah. There's very little he could do to not be out of gas at that time, no matter his health status. Yeah. Also, it's not like he's someone that's a 0 and is lazy on defense. Like every possession for him is something where you have to actually do something. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But yeah, James Harden, man, it was a heck of a game.
I still think Boston has this. It was nice to see him push it to 6 though. Boston. The thing is though, like when Boston's winning these games, they're winning easily.
Yep.
When Philly wins them, it's by the skin of their teeth. Granted, one was without Embiid. I guess at this point, again, I'm a broken record. If Harden plays the way he did, or even 90% of what he did in games 1 and 4, this could go to 7. If for the next 2 games you get games 2 and 3 Harden, it's done in 6 when you go back to Philly. There's no other way to explain it.
-125 for 6 games, -105 for 7.
Yeah, I mean that seems right to me. I have no quarrels with that.
A game 7 between these two teams would be
awesome,
fucking insane.
Awesome. Especially because, whether it was in Boston or Philly, doesn't matter. 2 of the most rabid fan bases out there.
I would rather it be in Philly, just, it's Philly. But either way, that game would be, that's Sunday night. Game 7, if it happens.
Oh, man.
Sunday is potentially game 7, Suns, Nuggets, Sixers, Celtics, and Lakers, Warriors.
That could be fun.
Dude, if all 3 of those series go to game 7s, buckle up. There are no games on Saturday, which is so ridiculously irritating for someone that has Saturdays off already.
Dude, I think Ben might be right, though, about Phoenix. When I told you where he said he thinks that every team wins the home games. Man, it's certainly lining up to look that way.
Yeah, it's hard to not really like Denver in game 5 back into elevation.
Oh, my God. I love them in game 5.
Yeah.
But I probably like the Phoenix Suns in game 6. That Denver team, home and on the road, especially facing, decent opponents, night and day. And Jokic scored 53 yesterday and they lost.
47% usage.
He had 47% usage rate?
Yeah.
Dropped 53. His PRA
By the way, 1.5 points per shot attempt.
Jeez.
I mean, by the way, 98th percentile assist rate, 46% assist rate too. Basically, every single possession was either Nikola Jokic taking a shot or successfully passing to a different person.
That's crazy.
He's the best offensive player in basketball.
It's
insane what he can do. Watching him and Murray, I think, is my favorite 2-man combination in basketball.
It's a really fun tandem, especially when Murray's red hot.
When Murray's just running circles around him, and all of a sudden, Jokic is faking one way, just tossing it over his shoulder, and it's glorious to watch.
As much as I love Joel Embiid, I mean, I'd take Jokic for sure. As much as I love Joel Embiid, I would take Jokic. It's just, I would, and that's why the whole MVP thing was silly to me, because I don't care what anybody says. I don't think that people are getting, Philly fans getting mad that people are saying voter fatigue and this and that, and they got to mix it up. It certainly played a role. It's certainly played a role. Joel Embiid's amazing, and he's a better defender. But Nikola Jokic, I would rather have Nikola Jokic on my team. That's all. But it makes no difference at this point. Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, 2-man show, did it again. They stole back-to-back games, dude. This is a 2-2 series after they got embarrassed essentially in games 1 and late in game 2. This didn't even look like it would be a remotely competitive series. You knew when Denver went out of that home arena, things could look differently. Yeah. But this is knotted up at 2. So is Philly and Boston. I know the Lakers Golden State series has been kind of boring for some of these games. Yeah. It's not unreasonable to think that, especially with it being Golden State, that we have 3 different game 7s. And you were just saying, we might have 3 of these games or series go to game 7. Could be a lot of fun.
I want that so bad. Sunday would be just the absolute most fun day of basketball. We would have a really fun live show, whatever the hell time that would be. I really want, we're not going to I don't expect to get all 3. We're certainly going to need the Lakers to win, or the Warriors to win today to help that out a little bit. But man, even if we get 2 of them, oh God, watching Durant and Booker and Jokic do this in a game 7, as fun as yesterday's game was, just increase the stakes a little bit. I'm in for it. It's crazy how much I don't give a shit about that Knicks Heat game.
I have zero interest in it, to be honest. We got to talk about it, though.
We do have to talk. I feel like it's like the other three teams are like playing in the NCAA tournament, and the Knicks Heat game is in the NIT.
Yeah, I mean, look, we got to talk about it. We got to talk about it.
Like the odds of the, I mean, this is just the Heat and the Knicks have the worst odds to win the NBA title, and it's not close.
Of course.
So there are 8 teams left, obviously. The Warriors have the 6th best odds. Third worst, 6th best. They're plus 850. The Heat are plus 2100, and the Knicks are plus 4300. No matter who comes out of this series, everybody's just like, yeah, these teams suck.
Man, if the Knicks ended up making it to the finals, that I'm wondering if the ratings would be great, because there's just so many faux Knicks fans out there everywhere, and it's the Knicks, but they don't have the same allure as they once did, unless you're Spike Lee.
I mean, people would want to watch it, but we'd be getting games where they're like 10-point dogs in Denver. It'd be ridiculous.
I think they'd probably be more than a 10-point dog in Denver.
It would be massive.
Yeah.
It would be massive.
In the finals.
Yeah. I mean, Miami's a 4.5-point favorite over the Knicks right now in Miami. It's going to be like 8, 9, 10, somewhere in that neighborhood.
I wonder if Jokic and Embiid would do good ratings.
I mean, that's the dream scenario, right?
For you and me. But again, for like the casual, I don't know how well it does.
I think it does really well. I think they could post 3 straight running MVPs,
First
2 centers.
Yeah, right. Yeah. They're going, I mean, dude, from a marketing perspective, I would love to be leading the marketing campaign. You wouldn't have to do anything. Like, you wouldn't even have to be creative for that.
No, it would be fantastic.
So easy.
It would be fantastic. Like, obviously, Lakers Celtics or Lakers Sixers are the 2 draw. Like, that's what you want.
One more thing here. And then we're talking Knicks Miami. One more thing. How about Jared Allen saying, when they lost that series, I forgot to bring this up to you, that the lights were just too bright. The lights were brighter than they expected.
I mean, I get it. When you don't know what the NBA playoffs are like, that's a real thing. I try to talk about it during the regular season as much as I can. Like, the game is just different. You learn what real basketball is when you get to the playoffs and have like a real series.
Has Donovan Mitchell never been to the postseason?
It's been bad all the time.
I know, but they didn't have any.
It's not like he was bringing in anything. Like, he's not that kind of guy, no matter what people think of him. Like,
I'm just trying to, I still think it's a wild statement, but trying to think of any veteran presence they had in there that could, I mean, PJ Tucker, as much of a zero as that guy is, you could tell he makes an impact when he's in Joel Embiid's ear, saying whatever he was saying. Yeah.
Nothing nice, I'm sure.
The stuff he said to Paul Reed, you can read his lips. You can read his, if given the opportunity, he probably would have open hand slapped him in front of 20,000 people and told him to get his shit together. I mean, I guess they don't have anyone like that. It's not Garland. It's not Mobley. It's not Jared Allen. It's not Isaac Okoro.
No. I mean, look, it was Kevin Love. They got rid of him.
But I still don't think he would have been the guy like that, rally the troops type guy.
He's at least a guy that can be like, yo, I know what's what here. We're talking about a guy that went to multiple finals in a row. That
is true.
He becomes that by default for this team.
At least he can tell you what to expect.
Right. It's not Howell Neto.
Right. No, exactly. Mitchell can tell you how to blow a 3-0 lead.
I mean, it's the whole team. Like Rubio, I guess, but he doesn't have any like high-level playoff experiences. Then it's Neto, Lamar Stevens, Dean Wade. I mean, this entire team is just filled with dudes that don't have it. Like Robin Lopez is a vet, but he's not a vet with like cachet.
No.
They don't have anybody like that.
No. Or 3-1 lead it was against them. Anyway, let's get into it, baby.
Oh yeah, Chetty, there's another one. Fucking they don't like they need an adult in the room.
Did you mention Rubio?
I did mention Rubio.
Yeah. Played on a lot of teams. I can't imagine. I don't think he's played on many good ones.
No, not really.
Through
no fault of his own. And
no. Of course not. New York Knicks, Miami Heat. Let's do it. So we got
my coffee's finally getting into my bloodstream right now. I wasn't great at like formulating words and sentences for the
back.
past hour. Yeah,
You're
I'm
back.
good. I'm
You're
feeling
back.
good.
How
Yeah.
much coffee do you drink in the morning? You wake
Depends
up
on the
early.
day.
Is this your first cup of coffee?
So I didn't wake up early today.
Okay.
I didn't wake up until like 7:45. I slept in today.
All right.
Normally I'm up at like 6:15. My body just needed it.
I was
But
dragging last night, dude.
my watch actually woke me up. Normally I'm stirring before my alarm goes off.
Yeah.
I was startled awake at 7:30. I wasn't like, my body was just desperate for sleep. So it took me a little bit to like get the rust off.
Dude, my watch, ever since you recommended I sleep with it on, which was uncomfortable at first, I'm used to it now.
Yeah.
My watch now, my alarm clock is just a gentle tap on my wrist. No
Isn't
sound
it the
at
best?
all.
Yeah.
People think it's crazy. I've never realized how much better it is to be woken up by just like a subtle pulsating
Boom,
tap
boom,
on your wrist.
and then you're just like, oh, okay. Doop.
It's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yes. It's
So you can
infinitely better than something
actually
screaming
hit-
at you.
You can hit the bezel, actually. You don't even have to tap it.
I just tap the top.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. But yeah, I watched the Suns game and then I stayed up on my phone watching the
Porn?
craziest clips from Deadliest Catch. I was
Oh, great. Did you get the one? But I mean, I used to watch that show a lot.
Yo,
when I
do you
first got
remember
to
how good
college
that
for, like,
show was in the early 2000s? It was
I was gonna
awesome.
say, like, when I first got to college, it was when it was just like the beginning, when it was
with Captain Phil before he died and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
well,
Awesome
we
show.
like me and my roommate Kyle, like we would
so
like
sick.
sit down with beers and like watch an episode.
So sick. It was so good.
Oh, I'm betting on so and so to get the most fucking fish this month or whatever.
Crap. But yeah, it was awesome.
You know what I mean?
It was really good, man. It's still going. I actually watched a couple new episodes, but I was watching the ones where the guys go overboard. Where
Can you imagine doing it?
I was telling Justine, and she just like doesn't, and I don't blame her. So she kind of was interested in that. I'm like, watch this. Could you imagine? Do you have any idea? Do you have any idea what they're risking? And sometimes after like a short season, some of these guys, deckhands, are coming back with $130,000, like monster money at times. But what a miserable, miserable job that is. I told her
I would never do it.
I told her though, I go, if I had to, I could do it. She's like, no, you couldn't. I go, I guarantee you I could go out there. I would never come back, but I would do it because there's no way I'm going to be made to look like a bitch in front of like 5 grizzled men that I'm like, guys, I got to stay in my bunk today. You know why? I'd never sleep again. I would never be able to live with myself again, ever. Dude, I'm telling you, if you were in that situation, there's no way you are sitting in your bunk while there's other grown men out there on the boat and you're sitting in the bunk scrolling on your iPhone. You wouldn't do it. There's no way.
But there's 10 steps before that why I wouldn't even be on the boat. One,
no, I'm saying
I get nauseous. I get nauseous on a boat in calm waters in the middle of our intercoastal. So right away, I'm in deep shit. I hate the cold. So get that cold bullshit water splashing up on me out of here for sure. Could I physically do the labor? Yes, but I need fully different conditions.
I just meant if you had to do it, like you.
No, I'm well aware going in that those men are more men than me.
Oh, dude, I'm not even close. That's what I'm saying though.
There's no shame in my game in this scenario.
The thought of me being like, sorry guys, not today. I wouldn't be able to live with myself. But
I wouldn't have to live with myself. They'd probably just pick me up and toss me over the side.
I'm happy to hear though that you used to watch that show and remember how damn good it was for reality television. It was the best.
Yeah. We would just sit down, crack open the case, and just plow out a couple episodes. When did it start? I want to say that it started in 2005, and that's like the same time.
Yeah, it was something. It was a long time ago. They're in season 19 now. So probably 2005 or so, 2004, 2002.
Yeah, 2005. Perfect.
Yeah.
It premiered April 12th, 2005.
Yeah. I'm going to go back and watch some of the recent episodes for sure. All right. New York Knicks. But yeah, that's why I was up late last night, binging clips of Deadliest Catch, wildest moments.
Yeah, we were watching it like as it was happening in the dorms.
Julius Randle. Man. What this whole we've seen so many times now with Julius Randle where you're like, okay, is he hurt? Is he fine? Is he great? Is he bad? Last game, 38 minutes, they get smoked. They lose by almost 20 points. he's been solid on the boards in this series, in the 2 games he played. But my God, dude, 4 for 15 shooting, blanked from 3-point range. And to be fair, he's shot terrible. He's shot pretty miserably from 3-point range in most of the postseason so far. He's getting 47% right now, down to $8,000, but he's played 38 minutes in both games that he's played this series. That's a lot of playing time for Randall.
It is. He looks good. They pulled some interesting shenanigans at the end of this most recent game. They finally went to the no center look to close out the fourth quarter. Now, I think a lot of that had to do with Mitchell Robinson not playing well, having a little bit of foul trouble, and Hartenstein having played like 20 straight minutes. So they needed to do something. But they did go, we only got 40.2 minutes out of Mitchell Robinson and Isaiah Hartenstein from Saturday's game. So they are at least sometimes willing to go to a smaller lineup, which does make things a little bit more interesting. We're not going to have Quickly today either. I like Randall. I don't have much to say. He's over-owned to me at 47%. He did come out of my sim as the most optimal Nick, but I think it's a little bit too high. I mean, like, the power forward eligibility helps. Obviously creates a little bit more flexibility. The difference between him and Bam Adebayo at 7,700 is not like a 90% increase in ownership. We've got Randall at 47. We got Bam at 28. I think those guys should be a little bit closer, but I have no problem with Randall. Like, you're playing Randall in cash games for sure.
Yeah.
I have 26% right now, so I am pretty significantly under the field on Randall.
Hartenstein's another just kind of interesting spot here. 26 minutes last game, 26 minutes the game before that. I know that Mitchell Robinson had gotten into some foul trouble, but Robinson had been playing colossal minutes to close out that Cleveland series. Even game 1 against Miami, he played big minutes. Now you've seen 21 and 14 minutes. We're going back to kind of musical chairs here at the center position, which is clearly leading to, added intrigue when it comes to someone like Hartenstein, because center position from a per minute standpoint, you'd rather have that than a wing who doesn't touch the ball and doesn't have opportunities to gather peripherals. But Hartenstein, $3,500. We have him at 33%, but also 40% optimal score today. So actually positive leverage on Hartenstein.
I think we have him a little bit too optimal, but that said, I like him quite a bit. I'm over the 33% ownership we have at 3,500. I gave him 20 minutes. There's certainly upside to that number. He played 26 over the past 2 games, but in a perfect world, in a dream, in like a normal scenario, you're figuring like something in that neighborhood of 28-20 if they're not kicking any more minutes to Randall or Toppin, whoever you want to call the 5 in that scenario. But with 20 minutes for Hartenstein, I have him in 45% of my stuff. I find him to be very appealing as a way to save some salary. That said, I also really like Mitchell Robinson. We have him at 12% ownership. If that's the case, he is getting criminally underrated. I went 26 minutes. I tried to be as pessimistic as I could. I did give 2 minutes to like the small front court if it can happen. But if Mitchell Robinson's 12% owned, like I think they want him to play 30 minutes if he can. He got his normal first quarter rotation, didn't get any fouls, played 7.5 minutes. He then picked up 3 fouls in his next rotation in the second quarter and lost 2 minutes of playing time just from that foul trouble. So right away, he should have been at 14, 15 minutes in the first half. He picked up another foul 2 minutes into the third quarter, immediately left the floor and never saw it again. They did not bring him back out because when you're already down 15 or whatever and you need some additional offense, that's probably why you go to the Randall at the 5 type look. So if this plays out a little bit differently, you're adding 2 more minutes in there for the second quarter rotation. You're adding like 7 more minutes in there for the third quarter rotation. Right away, we're already at basically 24 without even factoring in if we think he closes or not. So at 26 minutes for Mitchell Robinson, I think he's wildly underowned at 12%. If you give him any more minutes than 26, which is certainly on the table, he's an even better play. I think he's one of the sneakier leverage plays that you can get to.
What do we have him at right now? 12%.
Yeah. Like that, to me, that is, especially if Hartenstein's 3 times that.
Yeah.
Like, and I know why, but all it takes is no foul trouble for Mitchell Robinson. And all of a sudden he's playing 28, 29, 30 minutes and you have to have him.
Do you like Barrett today or Hart or any of these other guys? I mean, sure, we should expect them to play, specifically Josh Hart coming off with 38 minutes last game.
You see 38 minutes? That's like RJ Barrett's negative plus minus. He was minus 32 in the most recent game.
That is insane. No, but the worst other than that was Hartenstein at minus 18, minus 32 in 25 minutes.
Yeah. They just immediately kicked, like everything that happened, like anything the Heat threw up went in. Everything the Knicks threw up was throw up, and all of a sudden they were just getting their ass kicked when Barrett was out there.
I didn't get to see.
No, I don't turn this game on. I assume it's on like NBA TV or something.
But man, what a brutal game that was from Barrett.
So like, it's hard to really like any of these Knicks, but you have to like them a little bit, because if we're not going to have quickly, we're just going to redistribute like 20 minutes to everybody else. I guess Tibbs said like it's possible that we see Fournier or Derrick Rose today. I don't think that's going to matter all that much. I mean, maybe it does, but like, I don't trust Tibbs as far as I can throw him. So maybe you get one rotation of Rose or Fournier. If the shots are falling, like all bets are off, but I'm not treating those guys as real as when we had Monty Williams say like, oh, Terrence Ross and TJ Warren could get some run. To me, this is different. So like Brunson, Hart, Barrett, Grimes, to me, all four of those guys relative to salary, very similar. I think they're just soaking up the minutes. I went 39 to Brunson, 36 to Hart, 36 to Barrett, 24 to Grimes. And all these guys are like, I don't know, 20-ish% owned, and they should be. Grimes owned a bit less. He's not that kind of guy. But could he play more? Yeah. I think the key takeaway here is that you know that Randall looks good. Hartenstein is the value. Everything else for the Knicks, they're all sort of like 20%ers. You're going to pick one and hope you get that one right for the day.
On the other side, too, you've got Miami. They're 4.5-point favorites here. It's funny because they just have looked like the better team, even without Butler.
Yeah.
The Knicks just haven't looked good. The Knicks dominated Cleveland, but then they come into this series whole lot different. And you know what? Maybe you're right. Maybe some of it is maybe some of it actually is the experience. Jimmy Butler's got a lot of these guys, you know, Kevin Love, there's another guy. They got a few guys who have done this. Kyle Lowry.
Yeah.
Yep. Lowry's significant experience in the postseason. Like,
I mean, honestly, like everybody here, but Bam's got like this is a team that went to the finals. Bam has it. Duncan Robinson has it.
Yeah. But like Kevin Love and Lowry have finals wins under their belts.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
How many did Love win? 2 or 1?
1.
Just 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cavs only got 1. They got the 3-1 comeback.
And LeBron got 2 with Miami.
Yeah.
1 with the Lakers.
Yes.
Okay. You would really think he'd have more than 4. And that's
lost 6 of them or whatever.
That's not an insult. I'm just saying didn't he go 8 years in a row or something?
It's either 8 or 9.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a lot of appearances.
Yeah.
It'd be so much. Could you imagine if he didn't have all those appearances and he was just 4-0, how much better that would be?
I know.
Stupid people. Just such stupid people.
That wasn't a dig at LeBron. I'm just saying it always feels like he has more than that because he's always there.
Mine is a dig at the people that think that 6-0 is better than 6-5.
I know what it was. Right. Yeah. You get all the way there and you lose is better than losing in the conference quarterfinals.
Right. If you ask somebody like, would you think Michael Jordan is better if he was 6-0 in the finals or 6-5? You get a lot of dumb people that are going to be like 6-0 because he wouldn't have lost. That's like the most preposterous way to look at something in the world.
Right. Finals wins, finals appearances, 6-6. Even though 6 wins and 11 appearances is objectively way better. Not even close.
It's not even in the ballpark.
Do we still have the May bundle going, Jordan? Believe we do. May bundle. Man, we got some great screenshots that rolled in yesterday. One of them, highly complimentary of you and myself. It was very nice too. Just, you know, you had him saying, who was it? D-Fick coming out there saying, I've been watching you guys religiously since 2018. Good. Don't you love seeing that, man? It makes life a little bit easier when you see someone like, hey, I've been watching you guys every day since 2018.
It's a long time ago, man.
Pretty cool.
It's a long time ago.
I love seeing it. But
2018, like that's 2 years before COVID.
I know.
What was that even like? We should change the calendar. That should be year 0 now.
Yeah. like AD and BC.
Yeah.
But the May bundle's still going. It's your first 3 days for $5, whether you're doing a weekly or a monthly pass. The link's in the description and in chat. Awesome deal. It's kind of, to commemorate Steve Buzzard's massive $200,000 in wins over in 2 days, not including the like $750,000 that he's won since baseball season started. Jake Hari, our own Jake Hari, using the Stokastic tools, $21,000 in NHL winnings. By the way, for NHL, that's huge. That's huge.
Yeah.
That's like 2 million in NFL. Awesome stuff. Just all of our tools, first 3 days, $5. If you select weekly or monthly, doesn't matter. First 3 days, $5. And it's every tool for every sport. You may not have football right now, but you have everything else. You have the top pitchers, top stacks, top hitters tool for baseball, ownership projections, player projections, all the projected data and stats. NBA, still massive contest, whether it's Showdown, we got everything for that. Whether it's these main slates, we had the boom bust tool, ownership projections, MMA, PGA, NASCAR, F1, tennis, everything. If there's contests out there, we've got any content you need, any tools that you need to get the job done. And the best thing is you don't really even have to know these sports particularly well or know them at all. So a lot of the best players out there that win at a lot of these sports don't really even know the sports. They just have the preeminent tools. They have the better tools. They have a better process. That's what it comes down to. Lineup generators included in the weekly or monthly. The premium Discord is included in both of them. First 3 days for $5. And Josh, I figured it'd be nice to shout out a couple people who threw us some tweets along the way, threw us some comments and all that stuff, because it's good to see that. And people like being shouted out, especially when they win using the tools. We had Alex. Want to say thank you for the great show every day. Loughran and Josh always making me laugh in the morning show. Love to see that. Finally got first. $2 into $1,700. Rocking the Stokastic avatar. So he's got the free month on top of everything. Anyway.
Gotta love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
$2 in the $1,700 because the man was wise enough to go to stokastic.com/avatar and use it.
Yeah. And that easy. Simple.
Simple. Played $2. Man Alex played $2. And then Crypto Goat hit the turbo nuts with the Stokastic projections. Unfortunately, had to chop 100K with 438, but cleaned up across the board. Tip my hat to you. Yeah. 1,300 in the 5,300. And then our friend Hollywood Chop. First time using Stokastic. Second place, 7,500, one entry in the 4-point play. First time using Stokastic. Bang, bang. Love to see it. Check the link out down below in the description. You got any questions? My DMs are open. I'm always happy to help you guys. But yeah, the May bundle, link down there. Get the first 3 days for $5 on a weekly or a monthly.
And if you have any questions, my DMs are not open. So DM Laffy, please don't ever DM me.
That is why I mentioned myself and not you.
Yeah.
Trying to help around here, brother. All right. How
No,
about
I don't want to give out my phone number, my email address, my DMs. Just all y'all stay the hell away from me.
Miami Heat at home, 4.5 points. By the way, this game has a 206.5 total.
It's a putrid piece of shit, man. It really is.
Just dreadful.
It is.
Yeah, Kyle Lowry, 35%. Gabe Vincent, 34%. For what it's worth, Butler and Caleb Martin are both questionable. They are both expected to play. Zero reason to believe that neither of them are going to play. No massive ownership going to Miami, but I think the best way would be for you to just kind of break this down from top to bottom, because it's pretty flat ownership here among 7 or 8 guys.
Yeah, I got a lot of questions here about Miami. I don't really understand why Kyle Lowry is 35% owned. Can you help me here? Because that doesn't make, like, he played, obviously they beat the shit out of them, but he played 25 minutes, it's pretty standard issue rotations, sort of closed the game. How many minutes do we really expect Kyle Lowry to be playing? Because if he's playing 25 as like a 0.9 guy, he should not be in a third of the lineups without an MPE. I find him to be wildly overowned. You have to be projecting Kyle Lowry for massive minutes. And I don't really see can he get up to 30? Yeah. Could he play less than the 25 that he played? I think also, yes. I'm a little surprised to see his ownership. To me, he's pretty significantly overowned. I don't mind Gabe Vincent as much. He's more of like a 30 to 34 minute guy at 5,200. And you get the MPE. Like, I understand that he's not as good of a per minute guy, but to me, Gabe Vincent's minutes look a little bit firmer than Kyle Lowry. You should be projecting him significantly more from a playing time perspective. And you buy the extra position for $100 less. So these guys are comparably owned. I prefer Vincent to Lowry for sure if this ownership is holding up where it is. I'm also very happy to get to someone like Jimmy Butler at 9,500. I don't think anybody's surprised to hear that. I like Bam at 7,700, but I'm not going totally crazy. He's about 30% owned, and he should be. I think everybody for Miami is either appropriately owned or wildly over-owned. I don't see anybody that is like slipping through the cracks. You want to play Martin, you want to play Strus. Yeah, both of those guys look really similar. MPEs, mid-4 price tags. Kevin Love's minutes seem to be there, but he doesn't really do anything else. It's just sort of like 22 minutes of Kevin Love, hope for the best. He looks fine. I don't have much interest in Duncan Robinson or Cody Zeller, but they are getting like 5% ownership. All told, like this is just like a really unappealing game to get to. And if Kyle Lowry's chalk, avoid it. That's my takeaway from this one.
Still laughing at you referring to a basketball game as a piece of shit.
Did I?
Yeah, he said it's a piece of shit.
Well, I mean, it is.
Lowry did play 30 minutes in each of the first 2 games, though.
He did.
And well, Butler was out one of those.
He was.
So I'm not really sure, as you're pointing out, what to make of it. He played 30 minutes in game 1, 31 in game 2 without Butler. And I had mentioned going into that one, I think with Adam, that like he was going to have to play alongside Gabe Vincent a decent amount. Like,
right.
He was going to have to. But then 25 last game, Gabe Vincent played 30 with Butler healthy. There's only so many minutes to go around here. Unless, of course, you decide that you want more Vincent and Lowry on the floor together. But that seems unlikely that you're going to get a lot of that. I know
like, they can.
Right, they have. But before the Butler game, I think they had played 68 minutes together in the postseason. So that's not exactly nothing.
No, like here's the perfect scenario, I think, for Kyle Lowry. Game 1. He comes in off the bench, standard issue first quarter rotation, plays the entire second quarter. Same story in the third quarter. Plays the end of the third quarter like a bench guard, plays the entire fourth quarter. Gets 30 minutes on the dot. That is the optimal, this is the best game that you can get out of Kyle Lowry, is 30 minutes on the dot, playing the entire second and fourth quarters. If you don't expect that to happen, then if you're just taking 2 minutes off of those for each half, you're already down to 26. There's no reason he should be in a third of lineups if that's your outlook.
Right. Yeah, I'm with you.
Like, he's not a bad player or anything. He's just wildly overowned.
Any thoughts on the rest of this team? I mean, it thins out really quickly.
No, I mean, like, we know what their rotation is now. We kind of know the way that the minutes come in. It's really hard to want to look at anything from Miami and prioritize it. To me, you're looking at like 1 to 2 Miami guys in every lineup that you make, and you just kind of hope that you get them right. You're probably starting with one of Butler or Bam and then like working your way out of that one.
There's not a whole lot that we can take away from last game when it comes to the Lakers and the Golden State Warriors, because they beat them by 30. It just demolished them in the second half. This was what, a few point game at halftime, and then they ran away with this one. Curry played 32. Thompson played 33. I had under 31.5 PRA on Thompson. That line ended up closing at 28.5. So of course I'm like, man, just absolutely crushed this line. Now Thompson's going to have the game of his life. He's got 17 PRA at halftime. I'm like, all right, nice. I lost that. I'll go to sleep. Wake up. He finished at 22. Was essentially a 0 in the second half. Draymond Green played 23 minutes.
Yeah.
But prior to that, played 28 minutes in a 27-point win. So another blowout. 34 minutes against the Lakers in game 1. And ultimately, looking at this spot, if Draymond Green's not in foul trouble and it's competitive, this is a do or die game for them. I mean, it really is. If you go down 3-1 in this series to the Lakers, it's all but over. I get that this happened against the Kings, and if you want to use that as a analog to this, you can, but it's not. It's just not. The Lakers are markedly better than the Kings. I could see Draymond, once again, assuming no foul trouble, playing a lot of minutes today.
Well, he is my favorite play on the Warriors. It's not close. He's 44% owned. I'm well above that mark. 6K power forward center. And I think that I don't want to say that I'm pessimistic on his minutes. I gave him 33, but if this one's competitive, he is very capable of playing a couple more minutes than 33. But I think 33 works pretty well for what we have here today. I think Draymond is the best guy that you can get to from the Warriors. We have Curry, Wiggins, and Clay all basically like 33% owned. You're kind of just like picking one of those three guys for a lineup and moving forward. If it's me, I probably want to get to Wiggins first. He's the one guy out of that trio that has the MPE. Steph is just point guard. Clay is just shooting guard, which is so wrong, by the way. Clay should have shooting guard, small forward. It's silly that he doesn't. So I'm getting to more Wiggins of that trio, but I think their ownership is basically right. The first guy that we got to talk about is Kevon Looney. Why is Kevon Looney 43% owned? I think he should be like 15.
Because he's the man.
Oh, are we assuming that he's not starting again?
No, I'm kidding, of course, but that is something I do not know about. If at 5,400, if he was starting again, he should be that popular.
Yeah.
He's been dominant on the boards. If he's not starting again, I don't know. Maybe
this one makes no sense to me.
For 2 straight games, he came off the bench. He played 12 minutes.
It's not a good series for him just because of they don't have that spacing on the second unit now.
Yeah, he was also, I mean, the illness clearly was a factor in that game. He looked fine.
Absolutely.
He looked fine to me, but it really did seem like this was we really don't want to run this guy into the ground. Maybe he was still sick. I don't know. Not having Kevon Looney in the starting lineup in any matchup right now feels ill-advised, especially with Anthony Davis. I don't know. I mean, if he let's do it this way. If he starts at 5,400, what type of interest do you have in Kevon Looney? Because let's not forget, he was 6,700 2 games ago before the news of him getting sick and coming off the bench.
He's a really good play if you can start projecting him for 26, 27, 28 minutes again. I don't think you can project him like that right now if he's coming off the bench. It hasn't gone well in this series to have Draymond and Looney together out there, even though that is their generally best 5 guys. That said, if they bump JaMychal Green back out and go back to Looney at that price tag, he's more interesting. He was 6,300 in game 3 and 11% owned. So the price is down $900. But now we also have like a weirder expectation of his playing time. 43% is wrong. Like, even just when we get to 5 o'clock tonight, if we have no idea what the starters are, Looney's ownership is lower than it is right now. I don't know what they're going to do for a starting lineup. I don't think anybody does. Like, this is just going to be a crapshoot heading into 10 o'clock.
Yeah, I'm not really. Oh, God. Because JaMychal Green starts last game, plays 11 minutes, was -10 in 11 minutes.
Yeah.
Granted, the whole starting lineup was pretty dreadful in that regard. So I'm not trying to pick on JaMychal Green for that, but
I don't. They're going to start someone different today. I just don't know who it is.
Kevon Looney was the only player with a positive plus-minus.
Yeah. Yeah.
The only one on the entire team.
I mean, it helps that he didn't play the 4th quarter, which was the biggest beating.
Yeah, but neither did JaMychal Green.
Well, yeah, that didn't help either. He played the beginning of the 3rd quarter. That didn't help him. Well, he was -5 in both stints. So
all I know is that if Looney starts again at 5,400, I'm going to operate under the assumption that he gets enough minutes to be very valuable.
I don't think he's going to start. But
we'll see. They had good results in game 2 with him off the bench. Mind you, he also he dominated in the 12 minutes that he was out there.
True.
Once again, he had 6 and 8 in 12 minutes. He was awesome. But last game they don't start him, and they get absolutely tuned up to the tune of a 30-point loss. So I just don't necessarily know what the right answer is here.
In the playoffs so far this year, they've played 80 minutes, 167 possessions. Looney, Curry, Thompson, Green, Wiggins. So, the Looney starting lineup plus 39 in that time. The Poole lineup, if it's Poole in place of Looney, plus 19 in 37 possessions. I don't know if they want to go to that, but I wouldn't be surprised if they do. I think we're going to get somebody other than JaMychal Green, and I don't necessarily think it's going to be Looney, but it could be Looney.
Why does this starting lineup not work against the Lakers, in your opinion?
Not enough spacing. When you have Draymond, it just makes it a little bit easier for the Lakers to defend the Warriors when you have two non-shooters. It allows you to let Anthony Davis feel more comfortable staying closer to the rim, and it really just walls that off.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's kind of a give and take here. Like the spacing is obviously could obviously be an issue with Dre and Looney out there, but it's not like you don't have two of the best ever 3-point shooters in the league. Of course, defense is going to be tighter, as you're pointing out. It's not like Wiggins is a 0 as a 3-point shooter either. You can get Poole out there. You don't have to run Draymond Green, and you can start these guys and you can stagger them. I don't see that being a huge issue, but not having Looney's prowess on the boards, like maybe it goes overlooked, but it shouldn't. When you have a guy that has a 19% offensive rebounding rate or whatever it is, that can just continue to keep possessions going that probably shouldn't or wouldn't with anyone else out there, that's kind of an X factor and a variable that shouldn't go overlooked either.
I don't really care too much about whether they're starting him or not, but you can play him more than 12 minutes and 16 minutes if you don't. Like, I like the stagger. I don't mind that at all if you want to try to get a more 4-out, like if you want to try to have a lot of like one of those two guys on at all times type thing. I don't mind the lack of starting for Looney, but I think it's pretty clear that he should be one of the guys getting more minutes. Like to me, he shouldn't be anywhere under 24, no matter what sort of way you want to put him out there. And it seems like if they're bringing him off the bench, that's not what they're going to do. Like, even if you want to look at this most recent game and give him a beginning of the fourth quarter rotation, we're still only getting him to like 20 or 21 minutes. To me, that's where it starts to get a little wrong. I think they just need him out there a little bit more, but I don't think he's going to start.
What else do you want to do then right now with the Warriors?
I mean, play one of the Curry, Wiggins, Clay trio. Play more Draymond than anybody else. We've got Jordan Poole at 31% owned. I think Poole is really interesting. To me, like, he's just so bad, but at the same time, they kind of need him. The real issue is that, like, Dante DiVincenzo isn't as good as they need him to be, as weird as that sounds. Because they need somebody from DiVincenzo, Moody, Green, Payton, whatever, to become a real piece of this rotation, and none of them appear to be able to do it.
Yeah.
Like, Green's not good. I don't expect Green to play much more. I gave him 14 minutes. He's useless today, center only. Moses Moody is probably useless, although, played 26 and 20 minutes in the past two games. They seem to be okay going to him. It doesn't appear to be working all that well for Moody either, but they're just like a guy short right now.
Yeah, Moody also playing a lot of blowout run.
Absolutely. I mean, sort of. He didn't really in the most recent game.
Oh yeah, the most recent. You're right. He actually the game 2 he did. Game 2 he played all of it. Yeah, this was 20 minutes. But didn't he play? How many minutes did he play in the game 2? He played more, right? Yeah, 20.
Yeah, he played 25.
So he played 6 more minutes in that game. So I think probably 20 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, I went a little lighter than that, but it's just because I don't trust any of these guys. Like, they're down 2-1. The Warriors are the hardest team to pick today. Like, the Knicks sort of are if they're going to unearth like Rose or Fournier, but you kind of just know what Tibbs is going to do. The Warriors are the biggest wild card because once you get past Curry, Wiggins, Clay, and Draymond, they're going to have to try some shit because they're down 2-1. This is Steve Kerr. Like, all bets are off. No one saw JaMychal Green coming in the starting lineup. I think they're going to zig away from that here. The next guy up, I don't know who it is. No one does. Yeah. If anybody's confident here, they're wrong.
And I know Steve Kerr said before game 3, that Looney was back from his illness, that he was fine. But that's still another variable that kind of needs to, like, what if he wasn't actually fine?
Right.
coaches tell some tall tales from time to time.
Look, even if you were sick on Thursday and not feeling great playing 12 minutes because you're ill, like you're not 100% when you get back 2 days later either. No matter what's going on, you're still feeling the effects.
Yes, especially because this illness clearly appeared to sneak up on him like Thursday afternoon. You know what I mean?
That came, but we didn't know any of it until quite late.
Right. So let's say Thursday afternoon, you start feeling like shit. By Saturday, are you feeling great? Probably not. I don't know. You want to wrap this up with the Lakers?
Sure, let's do it.
You got your Prize Picks video coming out today?
I do. You know what is going on in those Prize Picks videos? 2-0 on Friday, 2-0 yesterday, back-to-back dubs on Prize Picks. Don't miss that video, folks.
Love it. Over on the Odd Shopper channel, you should be checking them out. And if you're not there yet, not sure why you wouldn't be, you're talking about something very simple here. An opportunity to change the course of your life forever. I say that in jest, but kind of not really, because you're getting a free month of Stokastic plus Platinum. Let's just say, Josh, you're someone that's grinding out the quarter arcades or whatever, or you're just, playing $50 a day, maybe even $10 a day. Maybe you're maxing the mini max, however it is, whatever you're doing to play. You sign up on Prize Picks using the link in the description and in chat. You already have access to all the best information there. Josh's videos, our Pick'em Pro tool over at Stokastic. You're just picking props, putting them into a lineup, especially if you're in non-legal betting states. You're scratching that itch for sure. They do the Taco Tuesday where they're giving you great plays at a discount. Friday, they're giving you basically like rebates, right? On losses.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get free squares over there. If you 10X or if you hit 5 of 5, you 10X. But unlike traditional parlays, if you hit 4 of 5, you still 2X. If you're playing for the six pick flex play, you're 25Xing. But here's what I mean by who knows what could happen. You sign up, you use the link in the description, you put $10 or however much you want in. You're getting 100% deposit bonus up to $100. That's huge out of the gate. If you can max it at 100, do it. You are also getting 1 free month of Stokastic plus Platinum. Every single tool that we talked about earlier for every single sport, including the lineup generator, including the premium Discord, ownership, all of our tools, everything across the board for free, $120 value. So I look at it like this, Josh. You're getting a package, a tool that you haven't paid for before. You're already getting 100% deposit match bonus on Prize Picks. Yeah. But these tools now going to let you play DraftKings, FanDuel, wherever it is. Who knows? Who knows what kind of paths open up for you after you get a free month and can fully use the power of these tools to play, whether it's medium, low stakes, high stakes, doesn't matter. Now you've got that in your pocket, looking at a potential massive ROI opportunity down the road simply for signing up at Prize Picks, a site that you're probably going to play on anyway.
It's that simple. It's as easy as it could possibly be. You get way too many good things to do this. If you have the ability to do it and you haven't done it, there are words to describe you that you're not going to like, but they're true in this scenario because you're costing yourself current money and future money by not taking advantage of these sorts of offers. I would do this in a field that I had nothing to do with if I just knew that I was getting a bunch of free things for essentially like no risk whatsoever. It's a no-brainer.
Of course.
If you leave this out there on the table, like you just don't like success.
Yeah. And if you don't have the opportunity to do it, you have the BetMGM link too. We have 2 different offers where you're getting a free month of Stokastic plus Platinum, $120 value. BetMGM, if you're not in a Prize Picks legal state, BetMGM, you deposit $10 or more with the link. You sign up, takes 2 minutes. And not only do you get a free month of Stokastic plus Platinum, you also get first bet insurance up to $1,000. So up to $1,000 on your first bet. Even if that loses, you're getting it all back in bonus bets, whether it's Prize Picks or BetMGM, free month of Stokastic plus Platinum. Who knows what could be on the horizon? When you plug those tools in, put that to work, use those lineups and see where it takes you. And if it doesn't take you anywhere and you're not happy, it was all free anyway. You wash your hands clean, we shake and part ways. Until next time. BetMGM and Prize Picks, links in the description and in chat. And of course, must be 21 years old or to gamble. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, please just go ahead and Call or text if you prefer 1-800-GAMBLER. All right.
That line must just ring off the hook.
What do you mean?
Like if you only had to call if you have a gambling problem, it wouldn't be so bad. But if I'm supposed to call if I know that other people that I'm aware of in my life have a gambling problem, like holy shit, I'd never stop using the phone.
And I wonder how many people are calling up and they're like, and it's actually them, of course, but they're like, so I have a friend.
Yeah.
Let's say he were to try and stop gambling. What would you recommend I tell him?
Yeah. He goes, his name's Schmosh.
Yeah, Schmosh Engleman.
Yep. Yeah. Definitely not me.
Yeah. Like, well, how long has he had this problem? They're like, sorry, my friend has had this problem for quite some time now.
Yeah.
All right.
Since he was 16.
Longer
than he didn't have it.
I would recommend Yeah, I would recommend this though. Before calling 1-800-GAMBLER, you should try BetMGM and use our tools and see if that gambling problem disappears. Am I allowed to say that?
Is it a gambling? I had a different response there that I definitely can't say on the stream.
You can. I know exactly where you were going with that.
Yeah.
Is it a gambling problem if you're winning? I'd say no. Start winning. Stop having a gambling problem.
It can be. It can be.
I'm gonna get killed for this. Start winning. That should be our new slogan. Start winning. Stop having a gambling problem.
Yeah, exactly. It's not a problem if it wins.
Yeah. 1-800-GAMBLER. All right. LA Lakers. LeBron James. We had talked a whole lot about just like LeBron James' performance in the postseason, how the usage was down, but how much of that is that they just simply didn't need the usage to be up. Can you do me a favor for a second, Josh? Can you pull up the usage for LeBron James? You know what? I'll do it.
I got it. We'll just keep saying what you're saying.
For LeBron James and the rest of the team from game 3 and a 30-point win.
Oh, just game 3?
Yeah, I want to see last game.
Oh, okay. I was getting like, I'm starting off this query of like all these guys and whatever the hell. All right. Game 3 usage rate. LeBron James, 23%. Anthony Davis, 24%.
Okay.
Tends to happen when everything goes in and you're just rolling.
That's kind of what I was getting at. Those guys had a 30-point win in game 3, and they had 23 and 24% usage rates. Kind of speaks volumes, huh?
It's like the defense was great. The offense was efficient. Like Russell was 1.6 points per shot attempt. Lonnie Walker, who we're about to talk to, 1.4. Dennis Schroeder, 1.2. Like you're just not going to. LeBron and AD were both 1.4, 1.5. It's just absolutely an annihilation.
Reeves has kind of stunk through the last couple of games, but that's about it.
Yeah, we got to have a talk about him because he's my number 1 contender.
Well, let's start wherever you want to start. He was plus 31 last game in 30 minutes, but just as a scorer, he's been. You can tell when the ball leaves his hands on his 3-point attempts recently that it's not going in before. Like you could just tell before it even hits peak elevation.
That said, I like him a lot. Yeah, I like him a lot here today. He's got the MPE. Like, why is Kyle Lowry at 5,300 more owned than Austin Reeves today? Your guess is as good as mine there. Doesn't make a ton of sense to me. I think Reeves looks fantastic. We're talking about a guy that's going to play, mid 30s in minutes. He's call it a 0.8-ish fantasy point per minute guy. Playing time, positionality, ownership at this time. Like I have him as a fantastic option for today. Really easy to fit in your lineups. And the roster flexibility is just there for you. I want to get there, even though it wasn't great this most recent game.
And it's also not unrealistic at all to think that he just plays, if he plays better and he's knocking down shots, that he gets back to the 37, 38 minutes.
Right. Look, I expect him to play 36 minutes in a competitive game.
Right. Yeah. But like I'm saying, game 2, he didn't play as many minutes because he was not having a great game at all.
No, he was not.
and there was no point of really keeping him. He was minus 22 in 24 minutes. He played terribly, which is great because I had all the unders there. Sam Van Dam, that's D-Fick. Thank you for the super chat, man. Follow up on my earlier message with a monetary thank you. Totally unnecessary, but greatly appreciated that. Josh and I had mentioned before the show, those comments, we love seeing that type of stuff, man. So appreciate you. I'm just looking at the boom bust tool right now at ownership on these guys and where they are compared to the rest of the field today. So LeBron is, damn, dude. Okay, so LeBron's actually the 4th highest owned player on the slate right now.
Yeah, I think his ownership is right, but give me 500. I want to spend $500 more and go to Anthony Davis at less ownership. I would rather have AD than LeBron for sure.
Significant ownership discount there. Significant.
I mean, he's a better play just in general. I love going to AD. I have 58% AD right now. That is the spot that I'm going to. I don't think we have to say too much about Anthony Davis or LeBron James, though.
If we don't, but if I told you that last game Anthony Davis attempted 10 field goals, you'd be like, oh man, he had 60 fantasy points.
Yeah. His stocks are insane right now. And he was 11 of 12 from the line. Like, that's going to help you too.
What a boon to their production when you know that maybe they won't have a ton of volume. He did, by the way, he did attempt 12 free throws. So, that's why usage was at 24%. 13 boards, 3 assists, 4 blocks, 3 steals, 25 points on 10 field goal attempts.
It's incredible. It
was an amazing game. I'm with you. I'd rather have AD as well. Yeah. He's had a couple of stinkers in the postseason, a few of them, but for the most part, the ceiling on this guy, you expect these bigger games from AD than LeBron right now in the playoffs.
I mean, he's live for like 100 in these playoff games.
He had a 75 spot, right?
Like, if he's going to play 42 minutes in a competitive game with the way that he could put up stocks and stuff, he had 30 and 23 in game 1 with 5 assists and 4 blocks. But what if that 4 blocks game is the 10 block game or 10 stock game that he had against Memphis? Like, those pieces are there. Either way, look, and I don't say any of this to invalidate LeBron. He's in 33% of my lineups. They both look amazing. The Lakers are the best team on this slate.
He has 60 plus in 5 of 9 postseason games this year.
Yeah, he can hang big numbers. Big numbers.
Anyone that can do it across every category is always going to have that immense upside. Let's wrap it up with the rest of the Lakers. How do you want to approach the backcourt not named Austin Reeves? So the Schroeders and the D'Angelo Russells. Do you want to get to some Rui who knows? You get him on the right day. Maybe Rui has himself a game.
Oh, you're not even naming the guy. He's currently not owned the way that he should be in our ownership projections. Yeah, Lonnie Walker's arguably the easiest play for today's slate. He won't be 13% owned. That's insane to me. That'll be higher. I don't know how you don't look at this rotation and think Lonnie Walker is the best value play you can get to. He's shooting guard, small forward, 3,300, and was the part of the first group of guys off the bench. Lonnie Walker, Rui, and Dennis Schroeder all checked in. Lonnie Walker played 2 rotations like normal as a bench guy. End of the first, beginning of the second, end of the third, beginning of the fourth. He played 24 minutes. This is the best guy that you can get to. I didn't give him 24 minutes. I went to 20. So I took 2 minutes out of his first half rotation, 2 out of his second half rotation. He's a 0.79 fantasy point per minute guy. This is the easiest spot to go to. It would shock me if he weren't a part of the rotation and just playing those same minutes. If you're willing to do that in a massive win, why would you not do it again?
Yeah, I know. What about
13% owned? Like, it's like if Moses Moody's 7% owned, I want to have Lonnie Walker. If Dante DiVincenzo's 15% owned at 3,600, I just want to have Lonnie Walker. I have him in 80% of my lineups.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, part of that has to do with the ownership, but he showed up in my sim 40% of the time.
Hey, I get it. These slates are weird. TJ Warren played way fewer minutes than you would think. And
it's shooting guard, small forward is insane. Like, that flexibility that you're getting there is huge.
Yeah, it's true. What about, I do want to wrap up with Rui, just because Rui's the type of guy that if he's shooting well, he stays on the floor. Yeah. Not necessarily all the time, but we saw it in game 2. Of course, they got smoked. He had a big game. We saw a couple really solid games against Memphis to start that series. Matter of fact, 3 in a row, really. But Then you also have games where he plays 11 or 15 minutes. What do you make of Rui at 13%? No ownership.
I like him. I've got 20%. Came out of my sim a little bit more than that in at 22. I gave him 20 minutes. We're talking about a 0.85 guy. The role seems to just be, standard issue bench guy. Go out there for 16 to 20 something minutes. He played 22 the game before that. I think 20 is pretty reasonable. I don't mind going to Rui at all. He's just power forward and he's $600 more expensive than Lonnie Walker. So that sort of additional price and flexibility cut him down a bit, but I think he's under-owned as well. Like, I don't think either one of these guys should be less owned than Jared Vanderbilt at 4,300.
Want to wrap it up with our favorite top tier play, value play, leverage play, and as chat recommended last time, favorite fade, or really just under the field player.
Yeah, let's do it. So favorite pay up option for me is Anthony Davis. I don't think it's really all that problematic to go to the top. I think he's the highest projected guy on the slate as well, because from a value perspective, I love getting to Lonnie Walker. And if you can play Lonnie Walker at 3,300, it's that much easier to be able to play Anthony Davis all the way at the top. My biggest fade as of right now is Kevon Looney. If he's 43% owned, I have 4. If you want it to be Kyle Lowry, he's 35% owned and I have 3. Those two guys are very clearly my 2 biggest fades. The guys that I'm getting to the most right now are Draymond, Austin Reeves, and Lonnie Walker.
Appreciate you guys hanging out as always. Always a fun one. Got us north of 100 likes. Thank you for that. If you forgot, take a single second. We all forget things. It happens. I get it. Although, look, we're drinking, maybe doing a little smoking, maybe doing a little this or that. Your brain's not working great in the morning. I'm here to remind you. It's my job. Just, hey, take a second, hit that thumbs up before you go, and then go on about your life and feel better that you've done something right. So, good Samaritan-esque today. That's all. Appreciate you guys, though. Fun show as always. Hit that thumbs up before you go. Subscribe to the channel. Follow Josh at Josh Engleman, myself at Lavi_D. Shout out to Jordan Klein for producing this one. Steven Smith, do you really appreciate me? If you're asking Josh or me, the answer is going to be different. Yes, I do. Appreciate all you guys. We wouldn't have this show otherwise. Josh does.
No, not at all.
We'll see you guys back here tomorrow. A little more NBA strategy show. Deeper dive live before live tonight. Odd Shop on the Odd Shopper channel. All the best bets for all of the games and all the sports. 4 o'clock Eastern on the Odd Shop. And we'll see you back here soon. Peace.
Peace.